What a mess. Look at that bad boy there. Coming handy. Gonna do a bigger one with 3 low.
Recommendations for something that's better than this. Doesn't mess the water up so bad.
Oh, absolute mess. Oh, catastrophe. What a blooming mess.
Hi, good morning and welcome down to the Devon Koi Pond. Well, what I call autumn's here now. Got the new temperature gauges set up on the pond. I'll show you that in a minute. But as I mentioned, we've got the dreaded blanket weed back. I've been fighting it now for a week, and to be honest, I've had enough. So we're going to be treating for blanket weed, and as I've got some of this left, I'm going to be using this Cloverleaf blanket. The bucket is probably just about big enough for my pond twice. I only used half of it last time, so I've got the half dose left. But what I'm going to want is people's recommendation for a replacement for this the next time. I know this came up a bit in the last blanket weed video, but down in the comments, please whack down your recommendations for something that's better than this, doesn't mess the water up so bad, and will cure the blanket weed, because quite frankly I didn't want to have to use this again. I've got the dose of it, so I'm going to use it because I don't want to pay for anything else at the moment. But I want a replacement for it, a good one where you don't lose the water clarity that much, but will get rid of the blanket weed. So let's have a recommendation from people down in the comments. We'll see which one comes out tops, and we'll have a go at that. Fish have been well happy, temperatures have been down. Let's have a quick look at the pond temps a minute, and I'll go into what happened over the week. I've been cleaning the answer filter with just a brush over the surface of it daily, but the blanket weed's kind of taken over it. I just can't keep it off the answer filter any longer. Last night I had to pull the answer out. I'll give you a look a minute. So yeah, this is what happened last night. I came down for my look at 10 o'clock and I cleaned it at tea time, 4:30, and I came down and the answer wasn't turning, the blade wasn't going round inside, it was sucking that hard against the outside of the filter, and it pulled that into it. So I did my normal trick here, just chuck a bit of jack matting in on top of the pipe and let the blanket weed suck up against that. That's what's pulled up against it overnight. I know there's a bit of strandy stuff in there, but the actual blanket weed I've got in the pond isn't really the strandy stuff. I've got nice kind of even coat over the pond. It's only about ½ an inch long, but there's a lot of bits of it in the water, and they just seem to gather round, catch around the screen on this, which causes it to suck in. As soon as it sucks in to a certain amount, then it hits the blade, the rotating blade inside, which is enough to stop it turning, which just then increases more weed sticking on the outside of it. So that one's going to be staying off now for a week while I treat with a blanket weed. Treat for it. As you can see, the water, barely any staining to it at all now. Absolutely lovely here, lovely bit of water. And now I'm going to chuck this stuff in again. So those of you that haven't used Cloverleaf blanket weed treatment before, this stuff will get rid of your blanket weed, but it makes a right mess in the pond. So as I said, recommendations down the bottom for a replacement. So I'll whip the camera up a minute, mix this up, we'll get it in the pond. What a mess. I've got the jet washer out. I'll give everything a proper clean on the answer filter after I've finished. It's going to take me the rest of this pot. This is supposed to treat 5,500 gallons. Well, I've got just about 2.8 in the pond, so I underdosed the last time, but it cured it, and I'll underdose this time. This is one of the bonuses of having a pond around the 3,000 gallon mark. Most of the treatments, everything are geared up for a pond of around that size. I'll mix this in the watering can. And I like to use my universal stick that I made. This one I can pull all the side valves in the pond, and I've got a brush on the other end, which is dead handy for any other stuff that it needs. So I'll just give this a stir for a minute. Probably fast forward it while I'm mixing it up. I'll be cleaning the mucky blanket weed out of the filter for a week or more. You want to get this all evenly around the pond. So yeah, as you can see, that's that in. That's a right mess. Let's have a look at the pond temperature a second. I'll blast the answer off and leave that one out for a week, because with a dead blanket weed going to it, it's just not worth it. It's easier just to clean this first pod each time. Right, what I got here, 2 temperature gauges now. The water one is the pond temperature, 17.6. The other one, 26.1, and dropping. So I've got the door open now. Is the actual air temperature in the filter shed here. So by keeping obviously the air temperature up in there, is warming the water as it goes through the filters. You can see it falling now as it's going down. That one's just got this probe out in the air, giving the temperature of the air. So that helps in keeping the water a little bit warmer. I've had daytime temperatures up about 19 and a half, but falling down overnight to about 17 at its lowest, 17 and a half mostly, but the nights have still been fairly mild, but the temperature bounce is starting, and that's where a heater comes in. If you could smooth those bounces out. If I did fit a heater, that's all I'd ever use it for. The kind of spring and autumn bounces in temperature, just to smooth the curve out a bit so the swings aren't quite so much. Quite happy with a 1, maybe to 2 degree swing, but anything more than that can sort of, well, I'll say it properly, it pisses your fish off. If you big temperature swings, they do not like it. Steady fall or steady climb, they're happy, but if it climbs or falls too fast, and oh, Sadie there, the one that has fits, every time she's fed she'll twitch on the top of the water like that, gets in her gills. It's her only way to shake it out, being she's semi-paralysed with her swim bladder problem as well. But there, so I'm going to be jet washing this answer off in a minute, getting it all ready to go back in, probably be out for a week I would imagine. I'll swap the square jack mat I got on top of the bit of pipe there over. I'll have about 4 or 5 on the go and just swap it over every few hours as this stuff gets round, gets it all. But this blanket weed has been funny this year. It's not the normal stringy stuff. The last time I treated it was the same.
it was an even coat, no real long strings, but a lot of fine particles of it in the water, which obviously go through everything and block up. I mean, they weren't going through the answer, they were only getting that far. Now without that one they'll get to the easy pod, but the easy pod's an easy clean. I don't mind blasting that one out once or twice a day. That's easy, the first pod. It's not going to get through to the second one, so I'll just clean that first pod every day as we go. Pop you back over here a second then.
Okay, so there you go. I'm looking for a replacement for the Cloverleaf blanket answer. I do recommend it, as in the fact it will get rid of your blanket weed, but the mess it makes, I want a replacement. So pop down in the comments what you recommend and isn't as messy as this, so that I've got a pot of it on standby for next year, or I might need to retreat after this. Last time the one got rid of it, I think it killed me watercress as well, but I want a replacement for that. And recommendations, people. If you haven't as yet, you know where the subscription button is. It's down here. It's the red one. When you hit it, it turns white. It's not red anymore. Still got a huge percentage of people watching that aren't subscribed. I'd really like a few more subscribers before the winter catches in and we start cutting down on the videos. It would be nice to see a few more you subbed in so you don't miss anything that's happening. You'll find out next week how this is getting on. The new temperature plate over there, back at work this week, so I had to test the laser, so I cut that nice square of plastic out, engraved it, cut the holes out, the 2 temperature gauges, which is handsome. Give me the air temperature there. I'm going to get another one of those gauges and have one of those probes outside of the filter, so I've got air temperature in the water, air temperature in the filter shed, and air temperature outside. Okay, out the sun somewhere, a shaded spot. I'll get the probe round to that, so I've got that temperature. And I can monitor the lot. I think definitely having your filters covered will help keep heating. I've got no pipes that are insulated, they're all inside the sheds or the filter pit. I've got the lid up on the filter pit at the moment, but when that's closed down, come winter I'll have a plastic cover that goes over that. I know everybody's thinking about their covers, it's that time of year, everybody's thinking about heating. Watched your Koi Diaries video just 10 minutes ago, the end of that. There is heating. Don't fib about how much the heating's going to cost. Tell everybody the truth. As I was saying, I've got a mate that fibs a lot about what he pays in heating, but I go direct to the source there, ask his wife. She'll tell you exactly what it costs. It costs more to heat the pond than it does to heat the house. Right, so from down here in Devon this week, as I said with the subscription, hit the thing. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you like the video. Been fantastic having you. We'll catch up with you next week. Hopefully the temperature is to stay fairly mildish for the next month, and the food is still going in at the moment. I'm still at 300 grams or thereabout a day. Proper little bunch of piggies, even coming up in this for it. Right, swing you all and see you next week. Bye for now.